So let's take some examples, right? Let's create a .java program file first. And I have opened the same project that I have created earlier. I will right click here, fine, and say new Java class. It's a .java program file that we are creating inside a class. So when this code is compiled, basically the class is .class file is generated. Okay. So now I will give it number. Give it a name, data types. Now I have explained you earlier that we should give the class name with a capital letter starting. Okay. So data types example. Fine. Or should we say primitive data types example? Okay. Primitive data type example. There is a minor correction needed. So I'll say refactor and rename. Fine. There is an example error. The error in the example spelling. I'll just say example now. Refactor. And you see, it's also changed here. Okay. It was earlier double M here, EXA double M PLE. Okay. But when I corrected here, it's also refactored here. Okay. Fine. So let's start with the main program. Okay. Main, and I'll say double tap, and it is like public static void main string args, basically the array of arguments. Now why do we give this array of arguments here? It's a interview question, so that you can pass the arguments to this function, the steps that you want to perform, okay, through the console. Okay. So not in the manner that I'm saying console, I'm saying command prompt. Okay. So if I say command prompt here, fine, I want to pass some arguments to this function. How am I going to do that? I will utilize this string array of arguments. Okay. And I will execute this function through my command prompt. Okay. Basically, I will execute this program from my command prompt, and I can pass the variable values. Okay. Which I can use to perform some steps. Okay. I will show you this thing in the next session. Okay. How to pass the arguments from the command prompt using this string arguments array. Okay. So now, as I said about data types, we write the variables first. Okay. So I'll say int number equals to 10. Okay. And let's use others also. Fine. So I'll say copy and paste. I'll say long. Fine. And I'll say long number. Fine. Let's test the limits also first. Fine. So we are allowed for 5 digits, right? From some 3 to 6. So I'll say 32000. Fine. And here I'll say something like 100001. Okay. So it's giving me error. Okay, why it's giving me error? Integer number too large. Fine, it's giving me too large. So can I write like L here? Okay, so you see, when you reach some limit, so actually it was being considered as integer. When I remove this L, and it gives me error, the compiler is giving me the error. If you see, this is red error. Okay, what is the error? You hover on this and you see integer number too large. Fine. Then what is the solution for this? When this integer is not being applied for this long data type, then just tell the compiler, make it smart, inform it that this is a long number by appending L at the end. Okay. So now I can write one more zero here. Okay. So So it can go up to, it's like, I think around 19 characters, 19 digits. So I'll say 111. Now it's giving me error. I mean, long number too large. So now it's not allowing me. So let's make it small. No worries. Now, what is the solution for this? I mean, long is not allowing us. So we can make it string simply, right? So later we will make it string and we will see to break these complex problems. Okay. So now this is a long number. What happens if I apply this, I mean, this way to integer like this? It's a error. Why it's error? Because long number, this long data type is bigger than integer. Okay. Now, oh, it's bigger than integer. Then what is the problem in that? You know, some knowledge that your parents have, you may not have, right? So it's like they have more experience. So similarly, I'm just saying this because a long is a bigger data type than int. So the responsibility the long number can handle, this int number cannot handle that. Okay. So long can store this much bigger number, and this much bigger number cannot be assigned to integer. Basically the simple logic. But one more thing is there, I'll tell you. I'll just simply explain you that why I gave the example of parent and children. uh, if you make like this number equals to, you can reassign the values in Java. Okay, you can not do like this. Okay, so this, you can say this is a parent kind of data type for int. Okay, so how because number is smaller data type variable, long number is bigger data type variable. Okay, so what is possible is actually like this. Long number can take number. Okay, so this is possible. This will not give you any errors. Okay, long number can be assigned a integer value, but integer cannot be assigned a long number value, because integer data type variable is having less space occupied on memory, and that is why we were getting error when we assigned a higher digit number to integer. Okay, now this was about integer. Let's use byte also. Byte can hold up to 128, right? Or 132. It's like we can see the values here. I mean, sometimes you don't remember it, but it's like 127. Can take about 127. So we'll assign it 127. Byte number. Now, if you observe, I have given the variable names in small letter starting. Okay. The first word is going to be in small letter, because this is called as camel casing, which is applied to function names and variable names. Camel casing is applied to function names and variable names. Fine. Now this is byte, int, long. Now what is remaining? We have short. Okay. So we'll say short number. And short number can hold up to, this is 32767. Fine. So 32767. Okay. So this is done. What are other data types we are going to do? We are going to see it's like Boolean, right? Boolean is true. Okay. Or we'll say is adult. Initially, the is adult value of this variable will be false. I will assign a false variable. Okay. I will show you by writing a simple function that the value of is adult, it changes to true. Okay. We will see a short function on that. Very simple one. Now, what are other ones? Float, double, and char. So we have float. When I'll say float number is equals to, it's saying 6 to 7 decimal points. So I'll say 1, 2, 3.1. Okay, like this. This is my float number, and even I can make this. Okay, so this becomes my float number. Now double. Now the relation that we saw between int and long, okay, the long data type variable can hold the value of int. Similarly, double, okay, here I'll make it double, okay, and I will make it double number. So double is a data type actually, okay, the double is a data type. We can say double is the kind of parent data type of float, okay. I mean, it can hold the value of float. Don't think in that direction that it's the parent of float, but you can just think of that the capacity of double is kind of double than float, okay. So it can hold small numbers of float, okay. So the double number can be assigned values like this, okay. Double number equals to float number. Fine, this is possible, but this is not possible. If you make it float number equals to double number. Fine, this is not possible. Why? Because float number is a variable of type float, which is a smaller data type than double. Fine. So what is the error that we are getting? Just hover on it. So we are getting an error, required type float, but provided type double. Okay. Fine. This is like we will remove. Now I'll tell you one more thing. It's like I have given this float actually. This is a float value. So I'll remove this and I will make this a big one. Fine. And so the correct error you may get now, float equals to double number. Fine. What is the error that we are getting? Okay, still it's showing the same error. Fine, fine. But we are good, right? We know that the float cannot handle double because it's smaller than double. So now we will print all these values. One more data type is pending, that is char. Okay. Char holds single character. Okay. And it can be anything because it's a character, right? Character can be a special character, a numeric character. Okay. So I will say simple char, okay, equals to single quotes. Okay, for char you need to you need to use single quotes, and then you need to say like h or e or anything, any single character you can use. Star. It will not judge it. It's going to just hold it. Okay, because it's a character, and character can be of any data type. Okay, so it can be a dollar, it can be a zero. Okay, and I mean, just to, it's a digit, it's a string character. Okay, so it's fine. I have just given here s. Okay, so let's write the lines to print it. Okay, so I will say system dot out dot println. Fine. What is the difference between println and print? Do you guys know that? Very simple. What is the difference between this? It's also an interview question for a fresher. So basically, the difference here is, okay, the difference here is print ln will basically move the cursor to the new line. Okay, once it prints something, it will move the cursor to the new line. Okay, and print ln will not move the cursor to the new line. It will simply, the next line will be that is going to be printed, or next word that is going to be printed, it will be appended to the things that are printed by print. Okay, this function. So I'll show you the difference. Okay, so println, okay, prints, and okay, we'll see the practical difference. Okay, I'll not write here. Let's see it first practically. Fine. So I'll say here, first I'm going to print byte number. Okay. So first I'll say something, some text I can write inside this. the byte number. Fine, I'll make it quick now. So plus this is a concatenation operator, okay, and this is byte number. Fine. Now let's make these things fast. Okay, now byte number I'm printing, then I'll print short number, and I'll say short number. Fine. I'll say int number. Okay, int number, and let's print that. And now you want to see the IntelliSense how it works. So I'll say long number. Fine, you will get the suggestion here. It's the IntelliSense of this IDEA IntelliJ. Okay, long number. I will select it. I will just double click on the things. Now long number I'll copy here and paste here. Fine. Then what I have, byte is done, long is done. Then I will use the float number. Okay, float number, just type a little bit of characters and then press enter on the suggestion. Okay, double number. Fine, and the simple char. Fine, let's print these things. Okay, and I just click on this run button, run the main function. Very simple program. It's like a main function, and inside that we have defined some variables and we are printing them. The variable values will get printed these lines of code. Okay, so now you see the byte number is 127. Now there is no space between byte number and 127 because I have not given any space here. If I give some space before the double quotes, it will add some space. Fine, like this. Okay, so now there will be a space between these two things. The short number, like short number variable name space 32767. It will be printed like this. As of now, there is no space, right? There is no space between 32000 and int number, right? So let's run this again. I have given the space now here. Okay, and the thing is, like, this space between plus sign and the like concatenation operator and byte number variable, it's not counted. Okay, it's just a it's just a space for IDEA IntelliJ and better code readability. Okay, so now what is printed? You can see byte number 127, the short number 32767, and the int number is 32000, and the long number is 1, and there are around here 8 zeros. Okay, and there is a 8 times 1 and 001. Okay, fine. So the numbers are correctly printed, right? One thing, if you notice now here, the byte number, oh my bad. Actually this is a float number. I have not changed the labels. I changed the numbers. Okay, double number, and this is double number. Okay, and this is simple char. Okay, I'll correct the labels for this. I mean here in the println function. Okay, I actually wanted to run this. Yeah. Here you see the simple char as is printed correctly. Now here, if you see, the double number is having this e, right? E means exponential. Okay, e means basically exponential. So what is happening actually, the value is printed in an exponential manner. So we will see how to solve this problem later. For now, I'll just make the value smaller. Okay, so let's run this now again. So this double number exponential, e is representing the exponential here. Fine, now it is printed correctly, right? Fine. So now what happens if I assign this double number value to the float one? Okay, so here let's try to do this. Fine, it's giving me an error that the float is assigned double value. Okay, if I provide f here, okay. Now what is happening? I have given like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 digits after the decimal point, okay. And I have mentioned that it's a full float number, okay. I'm just trying out something. So just to see that how many digits the float number data type is able to take, okay. So let's run this program. So if you guys see, the float number variable of data type float is only able to take the first 5 digits after the decimal point, okay. How many digits I have given after the decimal point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 digits I have given, and you can see only 5 are printed. So that is the logic behind the data types, that a data type variable can only take the value up to the limit, okay, and remaining value will get trimmed, okay. It's a very big bug sometimes in many systems, that people try to use incorrect data types, okay. So if you are going to test some code and you are playing around the numbers, guys, always keep a watch that right data types are used, okay. If you see, the value here is basically trimmed, okay. Now let's think that this value is of type euros, okay. I mean, the number that you are storing here, it's something like 500 point this much amount of euros, okay. So this value is very important, okay. Now this is rounded off actually, 83646, and this thing is trimmed, and this is rounded off. We can say simply this is rounded off actually. So 83647, and here it is 83646. So values are rounded off. This is not a good way of writing the code. Actually, here what should have been done? Double number should have been used, basically the double data type, because it is having more digits than a float can hold after the decimal point, okay. So usage of right data types is very important, okay. Fine. Now I was saying the difference between print and println. So what happens if I make this print, okay. So I'll just make this print here, okay, and I'll just try to run this. Let's see what happens now. So as I mentioned that println, this println and print here, there are two different functions to print on the console. So print does not moves the cursor to the next line. Actually, when this is printed using println, okay, the cursor of, let's say, this cursor that is as of now blinking, this was moved to new line with the help of println. But when I used print, the cursor after printing the byte number 127, it is not moved to next line, and hence the next line is printed just appended, kind of appended, okay. It's printed just after 127, okay. So if I make this print ln now, ln represents new line, okay. So line new, you can say print line new, okay. So after printing the byte number 127, it will move this blinking cursor to the next line, and the short number 32767 will be printed on the next line, okay. So let's run this. Okay, so if you see now on my console that the byte number 127, after that we have the short number 32767 is now on new line, okay. So this is the difference between print and println, okay. Println will move the cursor to new line, and the next line that is going to be printed, it will be printed on new line, okay. So now what is boolean, okay. Boolean is basically a bit like 0 or 1. False represents 0, true represents 1, okay. Now I'll change the value of byte number to 18, okay. or yeah, 18, fine. And we will write a simple function here, or not write a simple function. Let's just add a condition here. If byte, you see the suggestion I'm getting, byte number, okay, is greater than or equals to, this is a composition operator, okay, combined operator, okay, basically greater than or equals to 18, then print, okay, I'll give double curly braces, then print Ramu is a adult, okay, or let's say person is adult, okay, fine. Else, now I have not given the print here, so let's first add s out and then press tab and then take this string inside the println, fine. And now else, else, very simple, two conditions are being satisfied here. I mean, if byte number is greater than equals to 18, then print system.out.println person is added, else print person is a minor, okay. And I can change the, variable name. It's not mandatory to give these variable names. I can give like age, okay. So I can give like person age, person, person age, okay, person age 18, fine, person age 18. And you are getting now error here, so the byte number, I will say person age now, person age is person age, fine, person age will get appended to this string on the console, and the person age will be checked here. If person age is greater than equals to 18, then inside the curly braces print. So this is the scope of if, okay, this is a condition that I'm mentioning here, and this is the syntax. First you need to write if keyword, then person age is greater than equals to 18, okay, it will be checked. The value this person age variable is holding right now is 18, we have assigned it here, okay. You will get an error if you cut this from here and paste it after this line. So you are using a variable here before defining it, okay. So we will define this, okay. What is the meaning of define? Okay, define basically create a variable like this byte person age and assign a value, okay. This complete thing means definition, okay. This is how we define a variable. And how do we declare a variable? Okay, declaration means like just this, okay, person underscore age, a new variable with no value, okay, just semicolon. So this is declaration, okay. Okay, declaration of variable, okay. And this is definition of variable. Definition will involve assignment of value. Declaration may not involve the assignment of value. Okay. So why we are getting the error? Because we have not defined this and we are using this variable. So before using a variable, we should define or declare it. Okay. And before using a variable, I would say at least declare it so that you can at least assign a value. Okay. So you can write like this, person age, fine. So I'll just declare it here, fine. This is declaration of variable, fine. Now I will define it here, okay. Person age is equals to 18. Fine. Now this is defining, or you can, as of now, you can also say assigning value to variable. Fine. Okay, now percentage is equals to 18. It is first declared here. The variable declaration is happening here. Then the complete definition is happening here. Okay, kind of not definition, I would say. This is assigning a value. When you directly assign a value, you can simply say this is definition. Okay, you can reassign this percentage equals to 18 here. Fine, I'll show you the use of that. Fine. Now percentage will be used here if percentage is greater than 18, then print this, else print this. Fine. So let's run this. So on the console, you can see person is adult is printed. Okay. Person is adult is printed. Now I will change the value of 18 to 17. Fine. Now let's run the program. Now, what is the use of this hammer icon? This is to build the project. Okay. Build basically to check there are any errors or not. Okay. If there are any errors, let's say I don't give this double forward slash for comments. Okay. And now this is red and I build this. I have 1,000 line of codes in my class and I don't observe that there is an error. So I will click on this hammer icon and I will see that there are errors. Okay. So the build errors are coming now. Okay. These are the build errors. Okay. So I will just simply add this comment. I will tell you how to understand the build errors in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So we will talk about that. But as of now, the use of this hammer icon is to understand the build is good or not. Okay. Now let's run this program. We have changed the value of percentage to 17, right? Now the person is minor. What is printed? When the value of person age is 17, which is less than 18. Okay, here what is the sign? Greater than equals to, means if the value is equals to 18, then the person will be a adult, else it will be a minor. Fine. Thank you guys. It was the session today was about the data types and how to play around them. Okay, we learned about primitive data types. Maybe in the upcoming sessions we will learn about non-primitive data types. And if you guys have any queries today, you can ask them now. We will talk about them. Thank you.